Hi guys, क्या हाल चाल है भाई? Hello everybody, and I am Saurav Goswami, and I am your new member on the Catalysis channel. Okay, I'm new member on the Catalysis channel. I am very happy to be here because of sheer admiration of Pahul's work. Okay, Pahul's work and his dedication and the amount of effort that he has put in behind your kids, and for the kind of crowd that you are. Okay, for the kind of crowd that you are. So it's lovely to be here, and this session's name is Connect the Dots. Okay, this session is the name is this session's name is Connect the Dots. In fact, if I would be really honest, Connect the Dots is taken as an inspiration from Connect the Dots speech by Steve Jobs. Okay, if you ever get some time, please do watch about it. Okay, so chalo, let's start today's session. Ki what is Connect the Dots? And please do remember, I'll use mostly English. Hindi, no, because we have so many people who are coming from different parts of the country. English will be the common mode of communication unless and until we get to a comfort level. Okay, chalo. Yes, man, I will teach you chapter wise. I'll teach you chapter wise, and I will teach you guys things which are relevant for JEE and NEET. NCRT is enough. Okay, let me give you a plan. Okay, let me give you a plan, and that is my purpose for being here. That is my purpose for being with you guys. That I want to guide you to get the best results and best marks. Okay, yay, this is the dream of me as well as Pahul. We both are on the same page when it comes to giving you the best of the best stuff when it comes to chemistry. Okay, chalo, let's start today's session, and let's see what things I have to offer to you guys. So connect the dots. Connect the dots. Yes, Ritesh, I will teach even after Pahul sir comes back. Okay, I'm not going away. Okay, how to cover backlogs, I'll talk about it. Anita, I'll talk about it. So connect the dots. So what is the meaning of connecting the dots? Connecting the dots, if I look in perspective, connecting the dots, you have been connecting dots since childhood. Since you were kids, you were connecting the dots, but somewhere you have dropped that habit. You have been very good at connecting dots. Let me give you a very simple example where you connect the dots. Okay, let's start with your childhood. That when you were a kid, you were being presented pictures like this. You might have seen pictures like these in newspapers. Okay, you might have seen pictures like this in newspapers, and if I recall correctly, I have also seen this in multiple books that were given to me by my parents, and newspapers as well. Newspapers, magazine, Twinkle, Champak, and so on and so forth. Okay, so can you tell me what animal is this? Can you tell me what animal is this? Can you tell me what animal is this? Video is lagging. Guys, please refresh at your end. Please refresh at your end. Can you tell me what animal is this? It's a lion. It's a lion. Durga Kumar, please refresh, man. Please refresh. Okay, it's a lion. Guys, if the video is lagging, please refresh. That's the most that you can do from your end. I cannot do anything. Okay, it's a share, it's a lion. How do you know it? How do you know this? Because you know that you have to follow a pattern. You have to go from 1 to 2, and then you have to go to 3, and then you have to go to 4, and then you have to go to 5, and then you have to go to 6, and then you have to go to 7, so on and so forth. Isn't it? This is something that you have done. It's a smiling lion. Okay, it's a smiling lion. Everybody knows that this is a lion. How do you guys know this? Why are you so good at it? And what scares you the most when it comes to organic or inorganic chemistry? This is a lion. Okay, this is a lion. This is a lion. So we have been connecting dots since our childhood, but somewhere we have left the habit. What is meaning of connecting the dots? You have to understand that inorganic chemistry is not a standalone topic. It's not a, this video is exclusively for those people who want to understand how to face inorganic chemistry. Most importantly, this video is for 11th standard kids. 12th standard kids can also take benefit from it, but you have to understand that this video aims at helping you guys understand that how should you tackle inorganic chemistry, what you should be aware of and what should you not be aware of. Okay, what you should be aware of, you should not be aware of. You do not have to mug up. No, Anita, you do not have to mug up. Absolutely not. Let's see. So inorganic chemistry, if I talk about inorganic chemistry is related to three important things. Three important things which you have already read. Three important things which are atomic structure, chemical bonding, okay, just a moment. So atomic structure, chemical bonding and periodic properties. I'm sorry for that small jitter. Okay, I'm sorry for that small jitter. Okay, so atomic structure, chemical bonding and periodic properties. Okay, these three things are the only things that inorganic chemistry is related to. And the point is, you know these things. You know these things. You know atomic structure, you know chemical bonding, and you know periodic properties. Is there any student who doesn't know these things? No. Every student knows a bit of it. At least the amount of things that are there in NCERT, everybody knows. Everybody knows they've been taught so many different times. I'm not talking of Schrödinger's wave equation. I'm not talking of very high level molecular orbital theory, but I think you know about the basics of chemical bonding. You know the basics of periodic properties. You know the basics of atomic structure. So please don't be afraid of inorganic chemistry because it is related to only these three things. Okay, it is related to only these three things. Okay, you do not have to memorize formulas. You do not have to memorize things. Obviously, when you are going on a road, you need to know the path on which you need to walk. However, you do not memorize every road that is around you. What you do is you travel on those roads, make mistakes, get lost, and then pick yourself up and retrace, ask people that how do I reach somewhere, and then take the directions and go there. That is what you have to do with studies. That is what you have to do with inorganic chemistry. Atomic structure in physical chemistry. Yes, atomic structure is there in physical chemistry. Atomic structure is absolutely there in physical chemistry, and atomic structure is something that you have already read better. So let's understand few things. If I am being asked that rationalize the structure of BF3, can you tell me that what is the hybridization of boron in BF3? Can you tell me what is the hybridization of boron in BF3? So I have B, F, F and F. I have to rationalize. That means I have to talk about the structure of BF3. BF3 comes in group, you will see this coming in group 13 of P block. You will come in group 13 of P block. Now in group 13 of P block, you will have to study about BF3. A lot of people try to mug it up, but let's try to understand that how we can relate BF3 to something that we have already read. How we can. So very nice. BF3, you can say that it is sp2 and you will call it planar. Okay, you will call it planar. Now that is not the end of it. That is not the end of it. Can I say, if I have to understand something, I have to understand it in depth. Okay, I have to understand it in depth. I cannot just superficially look at it. Okay, so I have to look at two things as well, that fluorine has lone pair and boron has 6 electrons in valence shell. Isn't it? Boron has 6 electron in valence shell. Planar is triangular planar, man. Like we are not gonna go crazy about planar, and so planar and planar and trigonal planar are exactly the same things. Okay, trigonal planar, exactly the same things, that we can call it planar. That's absolutely no problem. Okay, absolutely no problem. Okay, now please do understand that if somebody is saying that improve video quality, that is not in my hand. Okay, everything has been done in the time of a pandemic, so it is always difficult to source cameras just at the drop of a hat. So give us some time, or give me some time. I'll get I'm trying to fetch a camera as soon as possible, but give us me some time. Okay, there are 6 electrons in valence shell, not 5 electrons. Okay, now you have to understand that whenever there is, so can I say that boron has electron deficiency? Boron has electron deficiency and fluorine is electron rich. And boron has electron deficiency means it has a vacant orbital. It has a vacant orbital. If it has a vacant orbital, then I can always say that there is resonance, a type of resonance that we can observe. There is a vacant orbital and there's a type of resonance that we can observe, and this resonance is known as back bonding. Back bonding is the same as resonance, except for the fact that back bonding, okay, back bonding is exactly the same as resonance. The only difference is in back bonding, what we do is we involve a lone pair empty orbital conjugation. Lone pair empty orbital conjugation. That's it. This is what you have to remember, guys. If I were to represent it in this form, I will put a negative charge on boron because it receives electron and a positive charge on fluorine because it gives electron. If you look at the direction of this bond, the one which receives electron will become negatively charged and the one which gives electron will become positively charged. I do not have to know inorganic chemistry in depth to identify this. Okay. Okay. I do not have to know inorganic chemistry in depth to identify this. Another thing that I can identify, can you see that there is a pi bond that is existing over here? There is a pi bond also. There is a pi bond as well. Apart from a sigma, in this double bond, there is a pi bond as well as sigma bond. So there is a pi bond as well. If you are being asked that in the structure of BF3, what kind of a pi bond is formed? What kind of a pi bond is formed? You are being said that D pi P pi or P pi P pi. What will be your answer? How do you answer this? Do you need to know a depth of inorganic chemistry to know this? No, you just have to know some amount of chemical bonding. You just need to know that P pi P pi will be the right answer. You have to know that you will know that P pi P pi will be the right answer because boron is present in the second period of periodic table. Now this is where periodic properties also comes into picture. It is present in the second period of periodic table, and fluorine is also present in the second period of periodic table. So fluorine will donate electrons, and if it forms a pi bond, it will only involve p orbitals. Second period elements do not have d orbitals. So this is wrong. And this is right. Okay, this is wrong and this is right. The number of valence electrons after boron does not have 5 valence electrons. Boron has 3 valence electrons. Boron's configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p1, and it has 3 valence electrons. The number of valence electrons over here is 3. Outermost shell में जितने electrons हैं, they will be known as valence electrons, and these valence electrons 3 plus 1, whatever it receives from fluorine also becomes a part of it. So BF3 turns out to have 6 electrons in valence shell. Okay, please tell me a yes if you have understood this, that to rationalize the structure of BF3 I do not have to know group 13. Even without learning group 13, I can do this. Without learning group 13, I can do this because I have read chemical bonding. I have read periodic properties. I have written 6 because there are 6 electrons in valence shell. In a compound, any element's valence shell will have as many electrons as many are obtained after sharing. The number of valence electrons are not written as like the atomic state. Okay, you may choose to write it, you may not choose to write it, but this is typically very, very interesting. But you do not have to learn a lot of inorganic chemistry to know this. Okay, let's try to do something else as well. Solubility of NH3 and pH3. Now this is something that you read in class 12th. This is something that you read in class 12th in group 15. This is something that you read in class 12 in group 15. Okay, Dhruv, I will tell you that from which chapter that I will start, but अभी सेशन पे फोकस करते हैं. Solubility of NH3 versus pH3, group 15 topic, which you essentially read in class 12. A lot of you might not have read it, but let me ask you guys, take a wild guess. What is your guess? What do you think is more soluble? Is it NH3? Please make a guess. Please make a guess. Please tell me the answer in the chat box, or you can like think about it and tell me what do you think will be, which is more soluble. Is it NH3 which is more soluble, or is it pH3 which is more soluble? Some people are saying NH3, some people are saying pH3. Okay. Okay, hydrogen, nitrogen have stronger bonds and phosphorus. pH 3 is more soluble. Uh, actually, NH3 shows hydrogen bonding. Okay, H bonding. Okay, pH 3 is more soluble. Let's understand which is more soluble. Guys, what do you mean by solubility of this? Whenever I talk about solubility in general, I am comparing solubility in water. In water. Okay? Now, if I have to compare solubility in water, I have to keep in mind two things. First, solubility in water depends on which form H bonds, and second depends on which reacts with H plus. Now, how do I figure out this thing? That which reacts with H plus and which forms strong hydrogen bonds. This is something that you already know of. Hydrogen bonds are formed by ammonia. And the hydrogen bonds formed by ammonia will look like this. It will form hydrogen bonds with water like this. So if anybody uses hydrogen bond as an example, does he have to go to group 15 to explain this? No. You can explain this at the level of 11th standard as well. How do I rationalize the second statement, that which will react with H plus? Now, to understand this, I have to look at NH3 and I have to look at pH3. NH3, the bond angle between H and H, this bond angle is okay. So H and H bond angle is equal to 107 degrees. This is equal to 107 degrees. But just a moment. But HPH angle is about 92 degrees, close to 92 degrees. When the angle is less, we use a formula to calculate the S character of the lone pair which is present, or S character of the bond which is formed. होता क्या है ना, that when you have a smaller angle, then the lone pair is present in pure S orbital, because the angle 92 degrees cannot be achieved until only p orbitals are involved in formation of bond. Only p orbitals are involved in formation of bond. Try and understand, unless and until p orbitals are involved in formation of bond, the angle cannot be close to 90 degrees. Unless it undergoes hybridization, in that case, the hybrid orbital will be sp3, kind of sp. It will be sp3 hybrid orbitals which will be involved in bonding, like in NH3. So in that case, the angle will change from 92 and will increase. it will become 109, it will become 107, or it will become 120, it will become 180, because you have seen that sp2, sp3 have angles ranging from 109 to 180. So if you involve s orbital, your angles will be more than 100. If you do not involve s orbital, your angle will be less than 100, close to 90. So the lone pair is present in pure s orbital. Now a pure s orbital looks like this. It's very, very tiny and small. Okay. Naman Singh, yaar, the channel has mostly people coming from all backgrounds, so using Hindi will like make it a bit difficult. Okay, so try and understand. If I take lone pair and I place it in a s orbital, it will be closer to the nucleus. If I place it in a sp3 kind of a orbital, then it will be so sp3 orbital will have 25% s character and 75% p character, so it will look more like a p orbital. So you can see that the lone pair is far away from the nucleus. So this point, the dot that you can see is nucleus. Okay, the dot that you can see is the nucleus. So if it is far from the nucleus, then can it be donated easily, or can it be donated with difficulty? In which case it will be easier to donate electrons when the electrons are closer to nucleus, or when the electrons are far from nucleus. Please tell me in the chat box. Okay, please tell me in the chat box that in which case it is easier to donate electrons, when the electrons are far from nucleus or when the electrons are closer to nucleus. Please tell me in the chat box that, bataiye, please tell me. If it is far, very, very good. If it is far from nucleus, so when the angle is less, I know that lone pair is present in pure s orbital, then will pH3 donate electrons to H plus, which comes from water, to form pH4 plus? Will it donate electrons to H plus to form pH4 plus? Very, very good, Lavanya. This is Drago's rule. Exactly, this is Drago's rule. Will it donate electrons to H plus to form pH4 plus? If it is if the electrons are closer to nucleus, it will hold the electrons tightly and will not want it to give it to electrons. Would not want to give the electrons. So which will have more tendency to donate electrons? Which will have more tendency to donate electrons to H plus? NH3 will have more tendency to donate electrons to H plus compared to pH3. pH3 will have very low tendency to donate electrons to H plus. And so which one do you think will turn out to be more soluble? One which will be donating electrons to H plus, so that it turns into a salt, ammonium ion, it turns into ammonium or phosphonium ion, turns into an ion, and then I will have a higher solubility. Very, very good, guys. Very, very good. Okay, so do you understand that to explain this concept from group 15, you still do not have to take into consideration any property of group 15. You do not have to read group 15 to explain this. You do not have to read group 15 to explain this. That's the beauty of inorganic chemistry. You can connect the dots, you can relate things, but if you forget to do that, you will always feel that you will have to memorize this trend. You will have to memorize this trend. And to memorize things, it is impossible. I cannot memorize a lot of stuff. So it is vital that you try to identify reasons for most of the things that you are studying. Okay. So the next thing is rationalizing Kw of H2O and D2O. Let's look at this thing. What is the meaning of Kw? Kw is you can call it the dissociation constant. Okay, you can call it the dissociation constant. If you look at H2O and you look at its ability to dissociate into H plus and OH minus, and you look at D2O and check its ability to give D plus and D minus, and you compare the Kw. What is Kw? H plus concentration times OH minus concentration. Kw will be D plus concentration times OD minus concentration. If you are being asked to compare, okay, if you are being asked to compare both of these, how would you make that comparison? One thing is, I remember the trend, but is there a way to like navigate around the concept and like go where this concept starts from? This concept starts from atomic structure. Atomic structure, where you might have learned that in the Rydberg's equation, or you call it Ryd's equation, in the Ryd's equation, which is 1 by lambda r z square 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square, we had considered, rather than taking mass of electron was replaced by reduced mass. You have read reduced mass in rotational mechanics. You have read reduced mass in rotational mechanics, and reduced mass is taken as m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2. In case of this as well, we take the same logic to explain what is Kw. Okay? In case of this, I take the case of this logic to explain how to rationalize this. So what I do is I take the OD bond and I take the OH bond. So mass is 16, mass is 2, mass is 16, mass is 1. So can I say that if I calculate mu for DOD bond, okay, if I calculate mu for OD bond and I calculate mu for OH bond, then the mu for OD bond will be greater, because the mass of oxygen is 16 and the mass of deuterium is 2. Okay, mass of deuterium is 2. So if the reduced mass is more, then the moment of inertia of the bond will also be more. I is equal to half mu r square. And if the moment of inertia of the bond is higher, you need to give it higher energy to rotate the bond or even to vibrate the bond. So if I increases, more energy is required to rotate the bond. Okay, rotate the bond or vibrate the bond. And because bonds are broken if enough energy splits the bond, so please tell me which bond will be more difficult to break. which bond will require more energy to break? The bond which will require more energy to break will require or will be difficult to break, isn't it? The bond which will require more energy to break will be difficult to break. So can I say, batao, can I say that D2O will be difficult to break? D2O will be difficult to break. If D2O is difficult to break, then this equilibrium constant will be greater or lesser than the equilibrium constant for H2O. Which equilibrium constant will be lesser? The equilibrium constant, let's say I call it equilibrium constant 1, equilibrium constant 2. Which equilibrium constant will be lesser? Which equilibrium constant will be lesser? Okay, which equilibrium constant will be lesser? Very, very good. Very, very good. Very good. Understood? So tell me something. This concept comes in the topic of hydrogen. Do you have to spend effort in like rational? Yeah, you have to spend effort in like connecting the dot. I took the dot in atomic structure, connected it to chemical bonding, connected it to rotational mechanics, connected it to energy, and then connected it to this. It was a lengthy process, but it is a elegant process. You will remember whatever you are learning for the rest of your life. Okay, so what are the best practices? Okay, what are the best practices? Things that you should be doing. The first thing, make proper notes. Whatever I will be teaching in class, please try to write it. Make a note of Catalysis Vedantu, inorganic chemistry. Make a note of Catalysis Vedantu, organic chemistry. Make a note of Catalysis Vedantu, physical chemistry. Make a notebook out of it. Try to write those notes. Okay, make proper notes. Ashok Kumar, please don't spam. Okay, please don't spam. Make proper notes. That is the first thing that you should do. Second, read NCERT, which is very vital. Read NCERT properly, like a information exchange. If it gives you certain information, try to identify which information you can understand and search for the information which you cannot understand. And you have internet at your residence and you can browse. So search for information that you cannot understand. Fourth, solve questions. Solving questions is very important in inorganic chemistry because solving questions sets in the loop of repetition. If you solve questions repeatedly, you will be able to understand things properly. Most of the questions after a certain point of time will feel repetitive, and then you will be at a point where you have information on your fingertips. Okay. The fifth point is learn from mistakes. Whatever mistake you are committing, don't worry about it. When you learn, you will make mistakes. Okay. Dhruv Saraswat, moment of inertia and energy are interrelated. That comes from rotational spectroscopy. Okay. Some other time I'll let you know. Okay. You can talk to your physics teacher about it. So learn from mistakes. Whatever mistakes you are doing, take a cue from them. Learn few things. Try to learn not to make them. Try to learn to identify how not to make them. And the last point is believe in yourself. The last thing that you should do is believing in yourself. Believing in yourself is very, very important, because unless and until you have a belief in yourself that I can do this, nobody, not even the best teacher on the planet, can make you do that. Okay. So if you have a belief in yourself that I can ace inorganic chemistry, you can do it. Remember, follow the Catalysis channel regularly. If you are not able to because of your school examinations, at least watch the replay. At least watch the replay. Okay, at least watch the replay. Now, what I would tell you, the books for inorganic chemistry would be NCERT, and to the more motivated ones, or you can use J.D. Lee. Okay, these books are the best in the market. How much time should we spend in inorganic? You should spend at least half an hour, 45 minutes on a daily basis. Inorganic chemistry requires effort. At least spend half an hour to 45 minutes on this. Okay, read things, make notes, revise them. You can give your notes to your sister, brother, or your parents to ask them to ask you questions randomly, like a viva. Okay, so that you will have all the information. For example, today I learned something. After 2 weeks, give your notebook to your siblings or your parents and ask them to ask some few questions from your notebook. If you are able to answer, that's good and well. If you're not, take it as a mistake and or take a cue from it. Go back and learn things. Okay. No, for JEE or NEET 2021, that is class 12th, I will start from coordination compounds. Every day, every weekday, Monday to Friday, 9:30 a.m. And for JEE NEET 2022, okay, 2022, that is class 11th, I will start with hydrogen. Class will be held at 10:30 a.m. Okay. You can only write the theory, that will be enough. You can only write the theory and that will be enough. Okay. Fine. So that's all about today's session, connecting the dots. You should always you should always remember that learning inorganic chemistry requires connecting information from one thing to another and not dealing it with as a individual topic. Like in organic chemistry, you connect points, connect organic hydrocarbons to alkyl halides to alcohols. The same thing has to be done over here. Sir, you said on Vedantu that you don't teach. I have come on Catalysis just because Pahul has gone on leave. I don't usually teach. So this is my first day after, I would say, 1.5 years. Okay. Yes. Okay. I really do not teach on YouTube. I have come only because I and Paul are very good friends, and he has been working day and night since the launch of the channel, and he deserved a break. So I thought that, yeah, okay, you go on a break, I'll handle it from here. Okay. Sir, what about KVPY 2020? KVPY classes are being held at Vedantu. You can enroll for them. We might hold some sessions for KVPY, but we have a plan for it, but I will not assure anything right away. Regular classroom sessions in Vedantu are being held for KVPY. Okay. क्या जेई पोस्टपोन्ड होगा ये मैं नहीं कह सकता हूँ, ये मुझे नहीं मालूम है. ठीक है, ये मुझे नहीं मालूम है कि जेई पोस्टपोन्ड होगा. I do not. My son is 2.5 years old, so I play whatever he plays, whether it is utensils or whether it's buckets, I play whatever he plays. Okay. Yes, so Diksha, I will. We will start. How to make notes? Take a notebook, make notes. Sir, we will start from hydrogen. Yes, beta. If to 11th standard hydrogen, 12th standard coordination compounds. Chirag, I'm not very sure. I'm not very sure. You'll have to check some web pages. How to clear KPY by studying hard. KPY is on 31st of January. Please put a lot of effort in organic chemistry. Please watch the previous videos on the Catalysis channel. And do not forget to tell your friends to subscribe to the channel. Please hit the like, subscribe and notification bell. Okay. Arey JEE 2021. Right now, focus on studying. Tips will come later. Focus on studying right now. Don't worry about tips right now. Okay. I do not know, man. I am nowhere related to the JEE organizing committee, so I do not know. Let the notification come. Let the notification come. Okay. I am violent on Vedantu. I am not violent on Vedantu. You guys are more well behaved over here. Yeah, this is a new. I am not violent on Vedantu, man. You can ask my batch, the toppers batch or the Sankal batches. I'm not violent on Vedantu. I'm strict, but I'm not violent. Okay. How to clear backlog? Pahul sir already has a video of that on the Catalysis channel. Please do watch it. How to clear backlog. Okay. Chalo. Bye bye guys. That's all for today. I wish you all the very best, and we will meet very soon. That is tomorrow. Join me. If you are in 12th standard, join me at 9:30. If you are in 11th standard, join me at 10:30. Okay, please do remember 9:30, 12 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock. Okay. Organic crash course. So Diksha, let me talk to him. Okay, we will, maybe organic crash course will start sometime in, crash course will usually start sometime in December or mid of November. Okay, we'll make a strategy session. Okay, we'll make a strategy session, but not right now. Let's start with dealing with topics and then we can talk about a strategy session. Okay, ciao. Bye bye guys, have a lovely time, and please do not forget to share the video. Please do not forget to like the video. Please do not forget to hit the bell icon. Please do tell your friends about amazing things that are happening on the channel. Okay, chaliye. Bye bye guys, have a lovely time, and let's meet tomorrow. Bye bye.